The United States just bombed Iran's nuclear facilities. Look, if you own any stocks, any crypto, or even have a 401k, I want you to pay really close attention to this video. I have been a licensed stockbroker, a financial advisor, and I've been through several market corrections. And what I've learned is that what people do in these moments determines their financial future. And your brain is simply wired to make really, really bad decisions in times like this. So we're going to talk about it, and I want to give you three key things that you need to do right now in order to get through this, and that you need to know before the market even opens. So first off, what's even going on? You've probably heard about the war happening within Israel over the past year and a half. That has escalated into an international conflict as well with Iran and Israel over the past week or so. So it's been almost 10 days now that Iran and Israel have been launching strikes against one another, and overnight, the United States just bombed Iran's nuclear facilities. In this bombing, the United States used a weapon that has never been used before. These nuclear sites are half a mile underground. So in order to get to them, they had to use a very specific type of technology, which once again has just now been used for the first time. This was one of the longest missions that the B-2 bombers have ever done in history. And this is the first effort like this that we've seen from the United States since World War II. So far, there was no retaliation that we saw. Iran basically wasn't even necessarily aware of this, or at least they did not, fire up against the United States in any way. So the United States came in and out super clean. Over the weekend, you might have heard that there were B-2 bombers going over the Pacific. Well, it turns out that that was a complete distraction, and they actually went the other way, and once again, got in and out without leaving a trace. So, we don't know what's going to happen. Iran has said before that they would retaliate if we struck their facilities, and so far the United States has said, hey, you better not. So what do you need to do right now? First thing that you need to do, and this is super important, the first thing I need you to do is to relax. Take a deep breath. Relax. Do not make any decisions right now. Our brains, okay, are wired in a couple of ways that I want to point out right now. The first is that we have what's called a negativity bias. So whenever bad information is being received by our brain, we are going to hyper focus on it. Our attention will go there first, and our attention will go there fast, and it will go there in a way that is really intense. The problem with that is that we're looking at the negative news, but we're not seeing anything else. Which leads me to this second concept by Daniel Kahneman called "What you see is all there is." So not only are our brains wired to tack on to that negative information, but no matter what else is going on, we're not going to see it. So why does this really matter? First off, during these moments of peak uncertainty and high negativity, you're likely to make really poor decisions. So the second thing that I want to make clear here about what you should do is, after you relax, I want you to also do nothing. Don't do anything. Quick story time. In 2020, what happened? March 2020, the market declined over 30% in a few weeks. People panicked, okay? People were thinking that the world was going to end. And quite frankly, at that time, I get it. But even if the world was going to end, don't sell your stocks. But anyways, what happened there was I was in university at the time. I remember my friends' parents were selling their retirement accounts and were liquidating their portfolios. And I kid you not, the data tells us in 12 months from that exact moment, the NASDAQ was up over 94%, had posted the largest gain in that period of time since World War II, and everyone who sold at the bottom was sitting there devastated by what had occurred. Not only did they cut themselves in half, but they also missed out on all of the gains that happened moving forward. So relax, take a deep breath, don't do anything, all right? And if you have a plan in place, you need to stick to that plan. Listen, the last thing I want to say on that is what's happening right now is not some structural economic change. This is heightened uncertainty, and we don't know what's going to happen. And once again, you don't want to take the information that you do know and make a decision when there's a much larger field of information that we don't know. Okay? So, last thing, super simple, just zoom out. We are in the middle of a huge technological transformation. We are in the middle of a trade negotiations with all of the world. And once again, what you do right now is going to be massive. The last thing that I wanted to touch on is that I happen to also have a degree in communications. And the news and all of the headlines that you're going to see over the next 24, 48, 72 hours, much like we saw in the beginning of the year with the trade war, is going to be extremely negative. Why? Because of negativity bias. The business model of the news is to get your attention and to get you to watch for as long as they can get you to watch. They don't care about what you do with your portfolio. They don't care. That's not their business model. They don't make money when you make money from the market. Okay? So just something to keep in mind. The incentives of the media are to tell you all the bad things, to get you to react emotionally, and to not think about the long-term consequences of the decisions that you make today. They don't care. Their incentives are not aligned with yours. So we're going to do a whole video on why you don't need to listen to financial news. And it's, by the time you're seeing this, it's probably out. So make sure to click somewhere to watch that video. And yeah, I just wanted to give you those 3 points. If you do feel like you need to do something right now, what I want you to do, if you need to do something, is you need to write down what your thoughts are about what's happening in the market, what you're seeing for your portfolio, what you think could happen in the future, and then I want you to write down your feelings. Okay, once again, our brains are not wired for us to make good decisions in these moments. What you need to do is write down your feelings. Writing down your feelings will also lower the intensity of the situation in your mind and allow you to think more clearly. So, relax. Don't do anything. If you need to do something, write down what you're feeling. And lastly, zoom out. Whatever happens, as far as if the market goes down or whatever happens in the next couple of months, just know that those are probably going to be the biggest discounts that we're ever going to get in regard to what's happening in this technological revolution that we're also going through in the middle of all of this. We're focusing on the wars, we're focusing on the trade, but there's this whole larger structural thing that is happening in the background. So, listen, subscribe. I'm going to continue to walk you through what's happening, give you some advice, some pointers, just keep you updated with what I'm learning and with the actual science and the psychology of how your brain is working against you when it comes to your finances and making these decisions. Now, none of this is financial advice, but if you do want to learn more about what's happening in finance or how to get your stuff together and what to think about, definitely subscribe, like this, and check out the links in the description. I'm happy to work with you and to talk with you about what it is that you need to know about. Other than that, I think that's all I've got. And stay calm. I'll see you on the next one.